This afternoon, the UNCG Spartans kick off the new year at home against the Converse College Valkyries. Hello again, everybody. I'm Paul Roper. Happy New Year to those of you tuning in. Both of these teams return to the court after a long break for the holidays in a game that was rescheduled from a month ago. The Spartans hope to start 2021 on the right foot. They head towards SoCon play, and the look for Tory Powell to spark the offense. The redshirt senior guard has come on strong, averaging 12 points in her last 4 games. That includes a career-high 16 at Tennessee a couple of weeks ago. They'll face a Converse team that's rebuilding under second-year head coach Jim Brunelli. They're led by sophomore Lindsey Harden. She's averaged just over 18 points a game in the first 3 games for the Valkyries this season. Take a look at the UNCG huddle. They're going with a big starting lineup this afternoon. A couple of post players in that starting lineup, including Khalees Kane and Lily Azundu. And in the backcourt, Amber Redmond, Tory Powell, and Cece Crudup. As we take a look at the starting lineups presented by TFA, and again, those are those 5 starters for UNCG. The 2 post players both standing at 6'3" against a very small Converse team. Their tallest player is the freshman Davin West at 6'1", but she's seen limited playing time in 2 games this season. We'll see if she takes the floor today for Converse. Converse has faced a couple of D1 opponents this year. They lost handily at Furman in the first of those 2 games, a fellow SoCon opponent for UNCG. And they also fought hard at Lipscomb in an 82-60 loss. And the tip is won by UNCG wearing all whites against the Valkyries in all purple. Crudup handles, goes around the Azundu screen at the top for Powell. Swings it over to Redmond, who missed the previous game against Tennessee. Redmond tries a jab step, deals it back to Crudup, bounce pass to Azundu at the post. Fakes a shot, deals it at the top for Redmond over to Powell. A right wing 3 on the way is in and out. And the long rebound goes to Carballo. Carballo, the native of Spain, takes it across the timeline as we take a look at the starting lineups presented by Triad Financial Advisors for the Valkyries. Over on the left wing, Ashley Sides, older sister of Faith on this Valkyrie team. Swing into the corner for Harden, leading scorer throws it up, in and out. And the rebound finds its way into the hands of Redmond, off the hands of Jordan Brown. Now Redmond at the foul line over to Crudup. As the Valkyries go to a man-to-man, pass intended for Azundu, ends up out of bounds, but unable to corral it back for the Valkyries was Ellen Nardella. So instead of a UNCG turnover, it'll stay with the Spartans with 18 on the shot clock. Well, Powell will trigger the inbound for the Spartans. The entry to Azundu, hands it back off to Powell. Powell tacks into the paint, out to Redmond at the top. Redmond unable to use the Azundu screen, instead it's a pick and roll. Azundu floats it home. The pick and roll works like it's supposed to as Azundu collects the first couple of points in this ball game. Spartans will set up their 2-3 zone, which has given them some nice success this season despite their 1-7 record. Carballo attacks the zone, has the shot rejected by Azundu, loses the ball. It's into the feet of Brown, who picks it back up. A 3 on the way, rattled in and out for Nardella. And then Azundu is able to get the rebound and quickly feed it to Crudup. Crudup, quick up the floor. Off the glass, no good. Ball is loose and recovered by Ashley Sides of the Valkyries. Jim Brunelli shouting instructions from the bench. Going with the coat and tie today, which is something we haven't seen too often in this pandemic-ravaged season. A lot of coaches going with the sweatsuit look. As a shot is missed from the right wing by Nardella, it'll stay with the Valkyries after the Spartans couldn't recover the rebound. Just over 2 minutes gone by. We're pleased that you've joined us. We should take a look at Jim Brunelli in his 2nd season with the Valkyries. It's been his last 6 seasons in Northwest Pennsylvania at Gannon University in Erie. Very good women's basketball program located on the shores of Lake Erie. They were a part of the Final 8 in Division II in the last decade. Cleve Wright was the coach of the team that time. It was Brunelli who replaced Wright after Wright left the program following that Elite 8 appearance. Spartans get the turnover as Azundu handles in the high post. Now to Redmond. Redmond down the lane. Nice lane off the glass. Her first points of the ball game. And Spartans expand their lead to 4-0. Carballo. Handle at the paint. Now into the corner. Ashley sides for three. Air ball right into the hands of Azundu. Head to Crudup. Real quickly pushing the pace. Pulls up at the foul line and drains it home. The Spartans have had three different players account for the first three baskets in this game. Off to a nice start against the Valkyries. Carballo. Nardella. Back to Carballo, who will run the point for Converse College. Underneath to Tierney Porter, rather Jordan Brown. It goes in and out. And it'll be taken the other way by UNCG. Powell ahead to Crudup. Crudup over to Kane. Swings it to Powell. Powell attacks the basket, throws it up. No good. Kane with the putback goes in. And Coach Brunelli will call a timeout. Spartans off to a terrific start. 4 of their first 7 from the field. And as a result, they're up 8-0 with 6:23 to play in our first quarter. More from Greensboro coming up after this. Spartans off to a terrific start, 8-0. Lily Azundu, nice finish there from Amber Redmond. And then Redmond does the job offensively with the shot off the glass. And then there's CC Crudup pulling up from the foul line. The ball follows its way through, so the shots have fallen for UNCG thus far. Pitching a shutout. Almost 4 minutes into our ball game against Converse College. Carballo handles for the Valkyries. Over to Hardin. Swings it to Nardella, back to Carballo as the Spartans continue this 2-3 zone. And a turnover. Traveling violation called on the Valkyries. The Valkyries now with 3 turnovers here in the early going. Or rather, 2 turnovers. Change that stat rather quickly. Stats team off to a hot start in this new year with the quick trigger finger as Crudup hands it over to Powell. Back to Crudup. She'll back up as she surveys the Valkyries defense. Looks like the Valkyries still in a man-to-man. Gets the screen from Kane. Crudup pulls into a double team. Bounce pass to Kane. Shot from in front of the basket, in and out. And the rebound finds its way into the hands of Carballo. Iva Carballo, junior from Madrid, Spain. Now Ashley sides to Carballo into the corner. 3 on the way from Nardella is in and out. So the Valkyrie team that will attempt many threes as Amber Redmond is able to collect the rebound. And Crudup will pull it into the front court. Here's Redmond being watched by Nardella. Redmond to the foul line, out to Crudup on the wing, underneath to Azundu. Azundu catches, spins around a double team, and couldn't get the touch from right out front. Rebound falls its way into the hands of Nardella. Valkyries trying to break the donut on the scoreboard midway through the first quarter. Over to Nardella. The ball goes off the foot of Sierra Davenport and out of bounds. And we'll go back to UNCG. The Spartans defense doing quite a number right now. Converse 0 for 7 from the field. Spartans look for their second win of the year. Powell take it up the floor this time around for UNCG. Hands off to Redmond, now to Crudup between the circles. Kane at the high post. Leads it to Crudup, wide open for 3 on the right side, in and out. Davenport with the rebound, lost control of it. Azundu trying to pick it up. Instead, it's a jump ball. The possession arrow will give it back to the Valkyries. Neither team has scored in a little over 2 minutes. Spartans off to the hot start. Haven't quite put the foot on the gas pedal just yet. Carballo. Spartans remain in their 2-3 zone. Foul line jumper rattles off the back iron from Keishana Fair. And Azundu with the rebound to Powell. Powell stops, foul line extended. Over to Kane, and Kane with the hoop from right underneath. Now has 4 points. Spartans reach double digits here against the Valkyries. They remain cold on the floor. Valkyries 0 for 8 from the field and 3 turnovers. Carballo down the left lane, kicks it out for a Harden. 3 on the left side, it's wide right. The ball goes off the hands, they say, of Azundu and out of bounds, so it'll stay with Converse. Brianna Council will enter the game to replace Lily Azundu. Council starting to see a little bit more time out there, partly due to the injuries, but also because of improved play with the extra time she's received. And she's watching Ashley Sides as he takes it out to the perimeter. Here's Sides again. Now Harden on the right wing being watched by Crudup, less than 10 to shoot. Carballo inside for Davenport. Davenport with a dribble underneath and puts it home off the glass for the first points for the Valkyries. Here's Powell to Redmond. Back at the top for Crudup, over to Kane in the high post. Out to Crudup, into the corner. Baseline drive for Powell, over to Council. Couldn't keep the ball as the pass was a little bit wide of her from Powell. And the Spartans with the turnover, give it back to the Valkyries. Allie Patillo enters the game for the Valkyries, junior from Douglasville, Georgia. Carballo. Now Fair, back to Carballo. Crudup coming strong on her. Over to Patillo, back to Carballo. Carballo looking to get into the paint. Carballo forces one up. Off the rim, no good. And rebound collected by Kane. Here comes Powell quickly up the floor for UNCG to Redmond. Redmond, round to Kane's screen. Redmond to the basket, puts it up, no good, but she's fouled. And she'll go to the line to shoot 2. It's our first foul of the game. It comes at the 2:13 mark of the first quarter. Iva Carballo gets called for the foul. So Amber Redmond will head to the foul line, where she's 7 of 10 this season. As you can see, sport a brace on her right leg, rather her left leg. Misses the first foul shot. She did not play in the previous game against Tennessee on December 20th, a game that was hastily thrown together. The Spartans are able to visit one of the hallowed halls of women's basketball, Thompson Bowling Arena, Pat Summit Court. As Redmond misses both foul shots. Still remains an 8-point game for UNCG as we approach the 2-minute mark of the first quarter. Fair at the top for Porter. Out of Davenport, back for a Fair 3. Overshoots it, and Council underneath with good positioning for the rebound. Over to Jayla Johnson, quickly ahead for Crudup. Back to Sway Johnson, as she likes to be called. Sway, round a screen from Kane. Flings it over to Redmond. Less than 10 to shoot. Redmond looking for a screen from Kane. Redmond all the way to the basket. Puts it home with the left hand. Redmond able to get the friendly roll. She has 4 points, back to a 10-point lead for UNCG. Here's Porter. Over on the left wing for Nardella. Now Harden. And Porter will back it up and slow things down. Fair. Into the corner for Harden. Now Davenport at the top for Porter. Into the corner for Nardella, less than 10 to shoot. Converse has had struggles against the zone so far. Harden with a 3 at the end of the shot clock, well short, but Kane couldn't come up with the rebound, and it'll go back to Converse College with 20 seconds to shoot. Spartans had a stop there. Elise Kane, hands of stone that time, unable to come up with the rebounds. But a steal off the inbound by Crudup, and she's all alone as she's going to the basket. Crudup unable to get the finish. Johnson able to follow up with the miss and bring it back out outside of the perimeter. Johnson uses a screen from Kane. At the top for Redmond. Now to Crudup on the left wing with 8 to shoot. Crudup starts her drive to the basket, fouled on her way to the hoop. Basket went through, but they're going to say that foul was on the floor, so instead it's the second foul on Converse College. On Tierney Porter, her first. And again, no basket. So it'll just be an inbound as we have half a minute to play in the first quarter. Johnson to trigger the inbound from underneath the basket. Finds Crudup. Backs up to the wing. Crudup, baseline drive. Crudup flings it outside to Johnson, who's just able to save it. 10-second difference between the shot and game clocks. Johnson down the right side, floats one home off the glass. Jayla Johnson, her first basket. 12-point lead for UNCG. Chance for Converse to hold for the last shot. All the way to the basket is Fair. Iron unkind there. Fair gets it back. Throws it up and in, and a foul. Desperation shot just before time was to expire. And Keishana Fair will go to the line for the three-point play, maybe to give Converse a little momentum into the second quarter. So Keishana Fair has averaged 5 points a game through the first 3 games this season, a freshman from Anderson, South Carolina. Chance for a three-point play. After the foul by Khalees Kane. Johnson opts not to shoot, and that'll be it for the first quarter. Well, Spartans shoot 50% from the field, 7 of 14 from the field in the first quarter. As a result, they have a 9-point lead. Doing some nice passing. Good finish there from Azundu among any others. And the Spartans hope to build off of that good first quarter. Up by 9 here in Greensboro. UNCG a 9-point advantage as we head into our second quarter. So far the scoring spread out for the Spartans. Khalees Kane and Amber Redmond each with 4 apiece. Jayla Johnson, Cece Crudup, and Lily Azundu each with a pair. Leading the way is Keishana Fair with 3 points for the Valkyries after she completed a 3-point play at the end of our previous period. Spartans will begin the second quarter with Johnson, Powell, Council, Azundu, and Brown. Converse with Porter, Sides, Fair, Patillo, and Davenport. That is Ashley Sides instead of her sister Faith. Johnson retrieves to the backcourt after it had been tipped by Porter. High post to Azundu, less than 10 to shoot. Out of Johnson at the wing. Back to Powell. Over for a 3 by Brown. That's in and out. Spartans able to reset the offense after the offensive board by Azundu. Jayla Johnson hands it off to Powell. Out of Jalen Brown. Back to Azundu, 5 to shoot. Brown faking a 3. Brown underneath to Azundu. No time to put it up, and a shot clock violation forced by Converse College. Third turnover for UNCG. Farrell inbound for the Valkyries. An all-women's college based out of Spartanburg, South Carolina, though that will change this fall. They'll become a co-educational university as a result, developing a couple of men's athletics programs for this fall, including a basketball squad. A nice finish from underneath by Sierra Davenport, her first pair. Spartan lead trimmed to 7. Johnson to Powell. Powell all the way to the bucket, puts it home, and she's fouled. The basket counts. Tory Powell with their first basket of the afternoon, and she'll go to the line to try to complete a 3-point play. Sierra Davenport picks up her first foul, also the first of the period. Take a look once again. A strong take to the hoop by Tory Powell, who's played very nicely over the last 4 games. Averaging 12 points a game, including 16 against Tennessee. And she completes the 3-point play. Now 6 of 10 from the line this season is Powell. Back to a 10-point lead for UNCG. Porter looks back for the instructions from Coach Brudelli. Fair in the lane, back at the top for Porter. Porter over for a 3 by Fair. That was wide right. Long rebound tracked down by Fair, then Council bounces it off of Patillo and out of bounds. Nice play by Rihanna Council to force the turnover. The Spartans regain control of the basketball. Lindsey Harden, leading scorer for the Valkyries, re-enters the game to replace Allie Patillo. As Johnson walking across the timeline for UNCG. Brown underneath to Azundu. Fouled hard underneath the basket. It's a nice feed by Brown to find Azundu. Just couldn't finish because of the contact that she took. So Lily Azundu will head to the foul line for a pair of shots. Sierra Davenport picks up her second foul in less than a minute. Davenport will sit with those two fouls. We'll take a look at that hard contact. Davin West will enter the game for Davenport as a result. Lily Azundu is 4 of 8 from the line this year on the charity stripe. Drains her first shot. Azundu will get one more. And the redshirt junior from Nigeria in and out on that one. Splitting the foul shots, which has been consistent with how she's done from the line so far this season. And a turnover after a wild pass by Tierney Porter at the other end for Converse. So the Spartans with the ball in their largest lead of the game at 11, just over 2 minutes gone by in the second quarter. Johnson. To Powell. She's watched by Harden. Back at the top for Jayla Johnson. Johnson uses a screen from Azundu. Hands it off to Powell, less than 10 to shoot. Powell bounce pass to Council at the foul line. Council takes it to the bucket, couldn't quite get the shot up. And the Valkyries able to take it away. Ball hadn't gone out of bounds, so the Valkyries will quickly take it up the floor with Porter. Fair, back to Porter. Left wing to Harden. Between the circles to Porter, almost mishandles the pass. Harden wide open for three left side, rattles off the back iron. And a long rebound chased down by Fair, almost got trapped in the corner, breaks out of it. West short on that attempt. Picks up her own rebound. Third chance on this trip down the floor for the Valkyries. Here's Fair at the top. Left wing to Porter, now in the corner for Harden. 5 seconds to shoot. Porter all the way to the basket, lost control of it. Azundu takes it away, gets double teamed. And Council dribbled it up the floor for UNCG. Leaves the pressure to Johnson. We'll look to call the play here. Johnson. Flips a pass to Powell. Powell in the bucket. Nice finish off the glass for Tory Powell. Game high 5 points for Powell. Spartans up by 13, largest lead of the game. Here's Porter for Converse. Harden underneath to West. Now Harden again. Kicks it back out for a three by Fair. In and out. Rebound to the foul line. Johnson comes up with it. Spartans have numbers if they hurry. Powell, third player, joins in Brown. Brown gets the pass, has the shot rejected by Harden. It goes out of bounds off of her to give it back to UNCG. Harden was the only player left alone in what became a 3-on-1 as she was able to reject the shot. Nice hustle by her, the sophomore from Edmond, South Carolina. Take a look at that once again. Last line of defense. Denied what could have been an easy basket. Powell collects the inbound from Johnson. Now it's Johnson the right wing over to Azundu in the post. Azundu spins around, puts it up, it's good. And she'll go to the line for a three-point play. Fouled by Iva Carballo. So Azundu doing some good work down low so far. With 5 points. And she'll go to the line to try and complete a three-point play. Split a pair of foul shots on her first trip to the line. And is unable to finish off the three-point play as she bricks it off the back iron. Carballo. Watched by Powell as the Spartans remain in the 2-3 zone. Harding collects a low pass on the left wing. At the top for Ayanna Parker, who's entered the game for the first time for Converse. Less than 10 to shoot. Brown almost got a steal. Harden picks it back up. Harden fires up a long three. It clangs off the back iron, but the rebound is collected by Brown, who couldn't put it back home. And finally, Azunu comes up with it for UNCG. We'll have immediate timeout on the next dead balls. We're past the midway point of our second quarter. Tyler. Tory Tyler, one of the 2 junior college transfers on this UNCG team that are new to this year's squad. Powell's three, no good. And there's the other. Rather, that is Tory Tyler, who's able to put it home. The other newcomer from JUCO is Jalen Brown, who's also on the floor, and she high-fived her fellow JUCO transfer after that made basket. 17-point lead for UNCG. Answer. Laned off the iron from Ayanna Parker, and it'll go back to UNCG out of this official's timeout. The Spartans getting hot. 11 of 22 from the field in the game, up by 17 on Converse College. Well, it's a return for one of UNCG's more decorated players from last year's squad, Alexis Willie, 4th in all-times game played for the Spartans, part of that terrific class that Coach Patterson brought in her first year to UNCG. Alexis Willie, one of the best three-point shooters in the SoCon last year. So, as you see, many of her highlights, three-point baskets from last year. Also very good defensively, as you can see there. Alexis Willie now back in Greensboro as a member of the Converse College staff, a graduate assistant. A terrific career at UNCG. Part of a great class that also included Nadine Solomon, who is the program's all-time leading scorer, as well as Tasia Twitty and Alexis Pitchford. All 4 of those players monumental in their run to a SoCon regular season title last year. And it's good to see Alexis back here in the Gate City. Spartans with the ball in a 17-point lead. This is Johnson, who breaks out of a double team. Flings it over to Powell, and she gets double teamed. Johnson back to Powell, around the arc to Redmond, underneath to Kane. Kane off the glass and in. Nice finish from Khalees Kane. Leading scorer for both teams with 6 points. The Spartans continue to build that advantage against Converse College. Harden out to the left wing, 3 in the way by Parker. In and out as Redmond couldn't get the rebound. The tie up for the loose ball. And the jump ball will give it back to Converse College on the alternating possession era. Cece Crudup will re-enter the game for Jayla Johnson with a nice spell out there on the floor as the point for UNCG. Johnson will take a well-deserved rest. Spartans so far have stymied the Valkyries. Now on a 12-0 run. There's UNCG. Valkyries just 3 of 24 from the field. Crudup almost got a steal off the inbound, but Carballo hauls it in. The foul line for Harden, back to Carballo, now in the corner for Parker. A nice move from underneath. Off the glass it in for Jordan Brown, the freshman from McCormick, South Carolina. That ends a 12-0 Spartan run. Here's Powell for UNCG. Over to Tyler. Tyler to the basket, floats it in. Tory Tyler with 4 points. As Spartans have spread out the offense in this one. Nice confidence booster as they head towards the opening of SoCon play a week from today against Western Carolina here inside Fleming Gym. We'll have that game on ESPN Plus as well as Tyler gets the steal. Feeds it quickly to Crudup. Crudup hustles up the floor. Over to Redmond on the way. Back at the top of Crudup, all alone for Kane, and she lays it in off the glass. And Coach Bertelli didn't like what he saw there, wondering how Kane got all alone, pointing right at her as the timeout was called. And the Spartans have broken 30 points here in the first 18 minutes against Converse College. And Khalees Kane, 4 of 5 from the field, 8 points. Off to a tremendous start for UNCG in her career. Let's take a look once again. This terrific passing, and Kane somehow left all alone. Camped out under there and had the easiest bucket in her career so far. Kane enters the game just 2.5 points through 8 games, averaging 2.5 points through 8 games, but they still like what they see from her, a late bloomer into basketball. She was actually a cheerleader, but her height at 6'3" made her more suited for the game on the hardwood, and Spartans really like her potential. They believe she could be an all-conference player when all is said and done here for the Spartans. Now Converse on the attack, down by 21. Almost got a steal to the Spartans. Final seconds of the shot clock tick away as a desperation three was no good from Nardella, and Redmond collects the rebound for UNCG. Spartans defense doing a number on the Valkyries, who are shooting just 15% from the field. Crudup for the Spartans, uses a screen from Kane all the way along to the bucket, got hacked but no call, picks up her own rebound, and they're going to say it went off of Converse. It'll stay with the UNCG. Excellent Greer enters the game for the first time to replace Tory Powell, who we assume will take a breather for the remainder of this half, which has 95 seconds remaining on it. Greer's inbound to Crudup with 12 to shoot. Crudup underneath the basket untouched, and able to lay it in as it rolls off the rim. Crudup with 4 points. Porter, senior from Memphis, over to Nardella. Now Harden, rather that was Sides. Here's Porter once again in the right wing. The Spartans remain in the 2-3 zone. It's been very successful so far. Porter will try a three to break that zone. Well short. Sides keeps it in. Davenport helps out. Now less than 5 to shoot. Nardella drives to the hoop. Back out to Sides. And a shot clock violation. So the Spartans force 30 seconds on Converse College. The Valkyries' 9th turnover. And the Spartans will have the ball here in the final minute of the second quarter. Make that an 18-2 run for UNCG. Terrific effort for the first nearly 20 minutes here in Greensboro this afternoon. Kane underneath, looking to get around Davenport, couldn't get the friendly roll. Looking to become the first player in double digits for either team was Kane. Valkyries with the ball, 8-second difference between the shot clock and game clocks. Ashley Sides for the Valkyries, hands off to Porter, and off the ball, it is a traveling violation. So with the shot clock turned off, it'll be Spartan basketball. Lindsey Harden unable to check in as the Spartans inbounded to excellent Greer. So Greer will handle the point duties. Hands off to Redmond, now back at the top, recruit up over to Tyler. Once again at the top, recruit up to Greer. Greer, to Crudup up at the top. Looks to move past Davenport, step back jumper. Rattles off the back iron. Kane using her height to take away the ball. Back to Crudup, and Crudup doesn't get the shot off before time expires. But for the Spartans, a very good first half as they dominated both ends of the floor, shooting 52% from the field and holding Converse to just 4 of 27 from the floor. And UNCG, as a result, well on their way towards their second win of the season, up by 23 on the Converse College Valkyries. A lot of second half action coming up here from Greensboro on ESPN+. UNCG up 32-9 on Converse College to open 2021. 20 more minutes left to play here in Greensboro inside Fleming Gym. Paul Roper with you, and we are so glad you've joined us. Hope that you're having a happy, healthy, and of course, safe new year. Take a look at some of the first half highlights. Spartans get it done at both ends of the floor. 51.7% from the field, and they're getting contributions from everyone. Khalees Clean leading the way with 8 points for UNCG. There's Jayla Johnson with a nice take to the basket here. The scoring's been very spread out for UNCG, sharing the ball. Tory Powell picking up from where she left off. She was able to complete a three-point play here after she made the free throw. And Khalees Kane, of course, doing the dirty work down low. Kane 4 of 6 from the field in that first half. And the Spartans limiting Converse to just 4 of 27 shots from the floor, shooting just 15%. That includes 0 of 3 from distance, as the threes have not fallen for the Valkyries. You need those threes to fall in order to beat a 2-3 zone. But the Spartans have been unable to give up any big baskets against the Valkyries. Defense has been on point as they head towards conference play on Sunday. A week from today, they will host Western Carolina here inside Fleming. Jim will have the action for you here on ESPN Plus, as the Spartans will begin the second half with their starting five of Azundu, who will inbound, Kane, Redmond, Crudup, and Powell. Crudup at the top over on the left wing for Izundu. Back to Crudup, uses the screen from Kane. Crudup tries to go all the way to the bucket, had the ball stripped by Lindsey Harden. Will stay with UNCG. Converse with their starting five on the floor of Harden, Brown. Excuse me, not their starting five. It's Harden, Brown, Fair, Carballo, and Davenport on the floor. As Powell drains the three. That's the first made three for either team this afternoon. The Spartan lead increases to 26. Powell with 8 points to tie Kane for the team lead. Carballo at the top for Fair, now in the left wing for Harden. Harden tries the edge in the baseline, loses the ball to Azundu, and the Spartans take it away. Here's Powell. Dribbles it across the timeline. Powell hands it off to Redmond. Redmond to the top. Surveys the Converse defense. Looks like they've switched to a zone here. Crudup at the top with less than 10 to shoot. Powell looking for a second straight three. It's wide right. Redmond picks up the rebound. Unable to put it back, and then a foul underneath on UNCG. Khalees Kane collects the foul. That is her second. In fact, she has both fouls for UNCG in this game. Relatively whistle-free game, as the officials, in part due to the not there being much physicality on the floor in this game, have not called many fouls. Here's Harden in the corner. Carballo. Now Brown over to Fair. Brown has it again at the top to Fair. Tries to go underneath. Kane looks to strip it away. Azundu picks it up. Another steal for the Spartans. Powell quickly ahead for Crudup. Crudup looking to find an outlet. Instead, deals it backwards to Redmond to Crudup. She'll reset the offense. Crudup tries to go down the lane. Instead, backs up to the wing over to Redmond. Redmond all alone, all the way to the bucket. No good. Tries to pick up her own rebound. Ball's loose on the floor, and they're going to say it's out of bounds. It'll remain Spartan ball, but 4 seconds on the shot clock. Shot clock did not reset after that attempt by Redmond since it hadn't hit the rim. Coach Patterson pointed at the clock to remind those players of that fact. So here's Crudup off the inbound. Crudup with 2 to shoot. Shot did not fall through, but she'll go to the line to shoot a pair. Lindsey Harden picks up her first foul. So CC Crudup will head to the charity stripe, where she's 16 of 23 this year. Around 67% from the line is Crudup. The shot on the way is good. Crudup, a senior from Richmond. One of 2 seniors from the Richmond area on this team. The other is Aja Boyd, who has remained out of the lineup. Aja is from Petersburg. Second on the way, also good. Crudup with 6 points. Spartans continuing to press despite being up by almost 30. Harden down the floor. Looks to go coast to coast. Shot was wild off the glass. The rebound finds its way to Fair. Carballo on the reset for Converse. Underneath. Some nice looking passing until the end, as Brown tried to find a cutting Davenport, but it went through her. Those Spartans will take the ball. 3 trips up the floor for Converse, 3 turnovers here in the third quarter. Here's Crudup for UNCG to Azundu, who's playing outside of the arc. High post. It's Kane. Out to Crudup. Crudup on the drive. Nice laying off the glass for CC Crudup. Crudup with 8 points, tied for the team lead with Powell and Kane. And a Spartan lead now at 30. In the corner, here's Fair with the three. That rattles off the iron. Davenport with the rebound. Ball is loose. Kane picks it up. Davenport a little bit slow to get up. Spartans have numbers at the other end of the floor. It's Kane underneath. Kane puts the shot up and good off the glass. Davenport couldn't get back in time to defend. And Khalees Kane, the first player in double digits for either team. She has 10. Give the assist to Amber Redmond. 5th assist off 18 made baskets for UNCG. Harden on the right side with less than 10 to shoot. Carballo driving into the paint over to Davenport. Davenport drew some contact. Didn't get called again. The officials letting a lot go here this afternoon. Davenport able to finish anyway. She now has 4 points. First points of the quarter for Converse. Zundu almost lost the ball after the attempted steal by Brown. Redmond at the top, driving into the paint. Redmond to the bucket, lays it home off the glass. Amber Redmond with 6. Spartans picking up from where they left off from the first half. 4 of 7 from the field in this third quarter is UNCG. Carballo. Now Brown. Back to Carballo. Carballo on the reverse lane attempt. Crudup partially blocked it and retains the ball. Quickly ahead to Redmond. Redmond underneath. Puts it up. It rolls in and she's fouled. The basket counts. Amber Redmond will go to the line for a 3-point play. Well, Redmond a little bit bothered by that brace on her left leg. So far, a nice afternoon for her. She's got 8 points on 4 of 6 from the field, and she'll go to the line to try and complete a 3-point play. Redmond missed on both of her foul shots earlier in the game. Take a look at the replay. It was a nice feed by Crudup and a tough finish through contact from Jordan Brown, who picks up her first foul. So Redmond will go to the line. No good in the foul shot, but Crudup with the rebound. And the Spartans will get to reset. So Redmond, maybe as a result of that brace being on her leg, empty on the foul line so far. Normally a reliable free throw shooter is Redmond. She entered the game at 70%. Redmond spins around the foul line. Powell fakes the three, then drives to the basket. The lane with the left hand is good. Tory Powell. Second Spartan in double digits. Powell has 10. Spartan lead is 36. We'll have a timeout in the next dead ball as we're past the midway point of the third quarter. Ashley sides for Converse, at the top for Porter. Now the sides all alone for 3, short. And Powell with a long rebound for UNCG. Was denied entry initially by Porter. Powell drives to the baseline, kicks it out to Crudup. Crudup out of Powell on the right wing, looking for an entry as Converse sets up the defense. Over to Crudup. Dribbles down the lane, Crudup. Unable to finish through traffic. Zundu tries to get the rebound, and we have a foul. Rather, a jump ball is Rihanna Council, I beg your pardon, that tried to get the rebound as she just entered the game for Zundu. But a nice effort by Rihanna Council, and we have an officials timeout. 4:20 to play, third quarter. And UNCG up big on Converse College here in Greensboro. Back here in Greensboro, UNCG up big 47-11 on Converse College. Paul Roper with you as it's been a terrific afternoon for UNCG against the Division II Valkyries, where UNCG gets ready to open SoCon play against Western Carolina, a team that's also clad in purple and gold next week. We'll have that game at 2 o'clock here on ESPN+. Valkyries break out of the full court pressure. Porter at the top for the Valkyries, who've shot just 15.5% from the field so far. 3 on the way from Harden, swishes through. First made 3 of the afternoon for the Valkyries. They're now 1 of 16 from distance. It's also the first points for Lindsey Harden, who entered the game as leading scorer for the Valkyries in the young season. Crudup in the corner, out to Redmond. Redmond trying to direct traffic. Now it's Powell from Council. Over to Crudup. Crudup into the paint, kicks it out for Redmond. Over to Powell, wide open 3, left wing. Rattles off the back iron. Council with the loose ball and puts it back home. Brianna Council, her first points of the afternoon. Transfer by way of St. Bonaventure on the board for UNCG. Harden tries again for 3. That couldn't connect that time. And Crudup with the rebound for UNCG. Crudup into the front court. Right wing Powell. Uses a screen from Kane. Tried to get Kane in the pick and roll, could not. Davenport knocked it away. And Converse takes it away with Porter. Here's Porter quickly down the floor for the Valkyries. Over to Fair. Fair all the way to the bucket. No good. Davenport with the rebound and draws the foul. Go off the offensive board. A foul by Khalees Kane, which is her third, and in one of the odder stats we will see today, Khalees Kane has all 3 fouls for UNCG, so she will exit to the bench. Lilia Zundu returns, as does Jayla Johnson, to replace Tory Powell. Powell and Kane leave as leading scorers with 10 points apiece. Brianna Council also jogs to the UNCG bench. Tory Tyler back in the game for the Spartans. Off the inbound, rolls home. It's Jordan Brown, who just re-entered the game for Converse with the basket. 33-point lead for UNCG with the basketball. Here's Redmond. We have a foul off the ball on Tierney Porter. That's her second foul. So Porter called for the foul. And Johnson will inbound for UNCG to Crudup. Crudup drives into the paint, kicks it back out for Johnson. Looked for a 3, decided not to take it. Instead of kick ball, will retain possession with UNCG, and the shot clock reset to 20. Johnson not much of a 3-point shooter, so she turned down the shot from distance. Here's Crudup on the way for UNCG, back at the top for Sway Johnson. Now is Zundu in the high post. Bounce pass underneath, and Crudup a little bit too far in the cut. So turnover for the Spartans. Spartans, for the most part, have played mistake-free basketball this afternoon. That was only the 5th turnover on UNCG. They've turned 13 Converse turnovers into 13 Spartan points. 3 from the corner was wide of the mark. Redmond wasn't expecting the ball, and it ends up out of bounds off of a Zundu who couldn't save it. So he'll stay with Converse. 7 points this third quarter is their best output of any period so far. And you can make it 9 points after a looping basket from underneath by Sierra Davenport. Davenport a team high 8 points for the Valkyries. Entered the day averaging 3 points in 3 games this season. Redmond down the right lane. Backs out into the corner. Out of Crudup. And she'll call the play. She retreated towards the scorer's table. Now she starts her drive. Crudup underneath to Johnson, who's all alone. Johnson with a dribble, couldn't put it up as it was wide of its mark. And here comes the Valkyries the other way with Porter. Porter almost had it stripped by Johnson. Out to Harden, 3 from the left wing, switches through. Harden with a pair of 3s, and that'll cause Trina Patterson to call timeout. Game, the result seems to be well in hand with the Spartans up by 28. This will become immediate timeout as Converse starting to get a little bit hot here in this third quarter. Still behind big here in Greensboro. Converse College, a rough first half, but baskets are starting to fall here in the third quarter. There's the freshman Jordan Brown with the basket. Sierra Davenport is 4 for 4 from the field. The lay in there. And then Lindsey Harden, a quiet first half with no points, but she's drained a couple of threes here in the third quarter. And Converse with a much improved period. They've scored 12 points after they had just 9 in the first 20 minutes. Still a big lead for UNCG. It's 49-21 as we approach the final minute of the third quarter. Here's Tyler for the Spartans. At the top for Excellent Greer, who checked it out of the timeout. Now Powell in the corner. Powell uses a screen from Kane, fires up a 17-footer and swishes it through. Tory Powell, a game-high 12 points. She's been her average over the last 4, now 5 games. Right at that average with 12 points here this afternoon. Porter, Nardella, wings it back to Porter. On Nardella at the top as the Spartans remain in the zone defense. Over to Brown. Brown from the foul line. In and out. Rebound to Davenport. She draws the foul. Amber Redmond, I believe, is called for the foul. That's her first, so she becomes the first UNCG player other than Khalees Kane called for a personal foul. And Sierra Davenport will go to the line to shoot a pair. She's 1 of 2 in the short season. That rattles off the back iron. Davenport will get one more. That's short, but Brown with the loose ball for Converse. The Valkyries can reset the offense with a fresh shot clock. Porter travels to the right wing. Now to Harden, into the corner. 3 on the way from Nardella, falls through. And Nardella enters the board with her first tray. Spartans, chance for the last basket of the period. Redmond will throw it up from 3 as time expires, and her shot is good. Amber Redmond with just her second three-pointer of the year. Beats the clock, and the Spartans will head into the fourth quarter up by 29. Amber Redmond with 11 points to become the third Spartan in double digits. The Spartans continue their impressive effort against Converse this afternoon. Up by 29 as we head into the fourth quarter here in Greensboro. We'll take a look one more time at the buzzer-beating 3 by Amber Redmond. Spartans up by 29 as we head into the fourth quarter, as that last basket by Amber Redmond to beat the buzzer was actually a 2 and not a 3. Still a nice shot to end the period for Amber Redmond, who has 10 points, while 3 Spartans in double figures. On the bench right now, as it's fed inside to Kane, who is fouled, trying to put it home. So Khalees Kane will go to the line to shoot a pair. She's one of the other Spartans with 10 points. Tory Powell is the game leader with 12. She's on the floor as well. Spartans with Powell, Kane, Greer, Brown, and Council to begin this fourth quarter. As the first shot from Khalees Kane swishes through. And the Valkyries with Davenport, Nardella, Harden, Brown, and Porter. And a lane violation. 1 for 2 on the free throws is Kane. And Converse will take possession of the basketball, down by 30. Converse will begin conference play next Wednesday against the Erskine Flying Fleet, followed by back-to-back at home against Emmanuel College. As Conference Carolina is undergoing a similar conference schedule to what the SoCon is doing in limiting travel. Spartans will have back-to-back games in a couple of weeks against Mercer here at Fleming Gym. Put back by Davenport. Makes her the first Converse player in double digits with 10. Powell across the timeline for UNCG. Uses a screen from Kane. Hands it off to Greer. And underneath to Brown. Leaves it in off the glass. Jalen Brown. First points for her this afternoon. Brown scored 4 points in the game against UNCW last month. The lap basket, her only points of the season. Almost got a steal. Porter was able to get it back. Nardella on the baseline. And there's Brown with the steal. Brown quickly ahead for Greer. Greer to the basket. Can't get it in. Council with the rebound, draws the foul. The Spartans working hard despite being up by 30. Sierra Davenport collects her third foul. One more time in the hustle on both ends from UNCG. The steal by Brown. It's a nice feed by Greer. Hard in there defensively to help prevent a better shot. And Council with the offensive board to go to the line after the foul by Davenport. Council's first foul shot is good. And today, 5 of 6 from the charity stripe did Council. She has 3 brothers. Her father, Ricky, deciding to go with the George Foreman way of naming children. All 3 of her brothers are named Ricky. Ricky the second played at Providence College at UMBC, and Ricky the fourth is a freshman at Wichita State. And she, the only girl, is named Brianna, which I guess you can consider a derivative of Ricky. 3 from the top of the key is no good by Porter. Battle for the loose ball. Kane comes up with it. Now there's a scramble and a jump ball. The possession arrow will give it back to Converse with 3 to shoot. And they're going to reset the shot clock. They did not reset the shot clock initially. The shot clock back to 20. Hardable inbound for the Valkyries. Porter retrieves at the top. The Spartans continuing to set up the 2-3 zone, which has worked to a lot of success against this Valkyrie team this afternoon. Harden couldn't get the 3 to go down that time, and Powell retrieves a loose ball for UNCG. Ahead to Greer. Greer from 12 feet. It's wide left. Chasing down her own rebound and went off the foot of Harden and out of bounds. Stay with UNCG. Iva Carballo will re-enter the game for Converse College to replace Tierney Porter. Inbound to Council, back to Greer, 3 on the way, in and out. Didn't fall through for excellent Greer. And it'll go back to Converse after the Spartans were unable to pick up the rebound. Greer under the day, 4 of 13 from three-point land, but couldn't get it to fall through that time. Carballo. Fair across to Carballo, being watched by Greer. Once again to Fair. She'll fire a 3, wide right. And Brown with the rebound for UNCG. Spartans with a 32-point lead as Greer pushes it up the floor. Back to Brown. Kane trying to jostle for position down low. And a foul is called. She was trying to get in that position. Jordan Brown called for the foul, which is her second. Excellent Greer rebound for UNCG. Inbound to Powell, fires the 3, rattles off the iron. Foul for loose ball, they hit the deck, and another tie-up will give it back to UNCG on the alternating possession arrow. Spartans continuing to shoot it well here in this second half. 10 of 20 from the field at 50%. Converse an improvement over what we saw in the first half. They were 7 of 19 from the field at 37%. Greer off the inbound. Back underneath for Kane, and she'll float it in off the glass. Elise Kane showing a nice touch from down low. Now 6 of 8 from the floor. Game high 13 points for the freshman out of Durham. Harden on the left wing. Spartans fake the double team there. Now Carballo over to Fair in the short corner. And driving down the lane, getting fouled, Ayanna Parker. So Parker will go to the line to shoot 2. Jalen Brown called for her first foul. Jordan Brown will take a seat, so Parker, who is 2 for 4 from the foul line this season, led of the line, freshman from Stafford, Virginia. And she's able to get the friendly roll that time. Parker second, also good. It's all academic at this point. Spartans with a 32-point lead, approaching 6.5 minutes to play here in the fourth quarter. As some of the reserves are seeing time for UNCG, including excellent Greer, who has the ball now to Brown. Back to Greer in the corner. And the dribble. Feeds it once more to Brown. Less than 10 to shoot. Brown taking her time, now finding an entry down the lane, lays it in. Very patient there was Jalen Brown as she waited for the C's to open. Drove it down the left side off the glass. She's got 4 points. Council almost got the steal. They'll stay with Converse. Jayla Johnson will re-enter the game for UNCG to replace Tory Powell. That could be the last we see of her. Powell with 12 points, continuing what has been a terrific stretch for her as of late. Love to see that continue into conference play with Coach Patterson and the Spartans. In the post, the hook was no good for Fair. They battle for the balls. They all hit the deck. Another tie-up will give it back to Converse. Bottom of that pile was Ayanna Parker. The Valkyries have not made a shot from the field in almost 4 minutes. So the ball will be inbounded by Carballo. Carballo. Harden now to Carballo once again. Carballo driving into the paint, kicks it back out to Parker. Parker lets Greer to fall. Her shot was no good off the rim, and Kane picks up the loose ball for UNCG. Kane with her 7th rebound to lead the Spartans. Greer will handle the point duties for UNCG as she has it between the circles. Uses a screen from Kane on the pick and roll. Kane couldn't finish at that time. Second chance opportunity rolls in. Khalees Kane with the career high 15 points in her 9th game at the collegiate level. Spartans with their largest lead of the afternoon at 36. Davenport has it in the low post, kicks it out for a 3 by Parker, and she is able to drain it. Parker with the 4th 3 of the afternoon for Converse, all in the second half. 5 points for Ayanna Parker. She's had some nice minutes out there for the Valkyries. Here's Greer into the paint. Greer throws up a shot. Planed off the iron, and Davenport with the rebound to Carballo. Carballo surveys the UNCG zone as Council went in a little bit too hard on the steal, commits the foul, and that will lead us to our immediate timeout. Those Spartans still in control of this one, just over 4 minutes away from collecting their 2nd win of the season to start 2021. Spartans have been in control of this one from start to finish, up by 33 as we are in our final 4 1/4 minutes here in Greensboro. Paul Roper with you. So glad you decided to spend your day with us as Spartans headed towards their 2nd win of the season before they go into Southern Conference play a week from today against the Western Carolina Catamounts. Converse off the inbound to Carballo. Fair posting up on Azundu. Brown almost with the steal. Greer in there as well. And they're going to call a foul on Converse. Good hustle from Brown and Greer. As Sierra Davenport picks up her 4th foul. Davenport has led the way in scoring for Converse with 10 points. She's their only player in double digits. Spartans have 3 in double digits, led by Khalees Kane's 15. Kane on the bench right now, as Brown has it on the right wing. To Azundu in the short corner, back to Brown. She pull it back out towards Coach Patterson in front of the UNCG bench. Brown down the lane, shot was off the glass and rim, no good, and Hardin will take it the other way for Converse. Out to Parker, her 3 is down. Second 3 of the quarter for Ayanna Parker. She has 8 points. Spartans up by 30 as Johnson has it for UNCG. Bounce pass to Brown at the top. Now Greer at the top for Johnson. Johnson using the screen from Azundu to Brown. Their left wing 3, in and out. Valkyries will take it the other way with Hardin. Less than 3 minutes to play, fair. Across to Hardin, being watched by Johnson. Over to Parker. And off the ball, we have a foul on Lily Azundu. First foul on Lily Azundu. So Khalees Kane back into the game with her game-high 15 points to replace Azundu. There's 5 points, 6 boards so far. And enough shots are missed. Kane might have an opportunity for her first collegiate double-double. She has 15 and 8 so far. Parker fields it at the top for Converse. Hands off to Carballo. Carballo back to Parker, looking for a third 3. The time was no good. And Brown with a loose ball for UNCG. Brown flings a pass over to Johnson. Johnson points to the floor. Uses a screen from Tyler. At the top for Greer. Here's a 3 from the lefty. Falls through. And underneath, Carballo is a bit shaken up after excellent Greer. Drains her 5th 3-pointer of the year. And Carballo took a shot underneath, so she will exit to the bench after Greer collects her first points of the afternoon on that 3-pointer. Might just startled her. Fortunately, no blood as a result of that play. We'll see that again. It came off the 3 and that just ran into the shoulder of her teammate, Kishana Fair. Hardin from the baseline, overshoots it. Crudup went after the loose ball, and Converse kept it in. Parker can't lay it in from out front. Tyler with the rebound for UNCG, but Greer loses it. Porter couldn't lay it in. Converse still retains possession. Here's for Parker 3, and finally that possession ends. So Ayanna Parker getting a little bit of run here in the 4th quarter. Now is a team-high 11 points on her 3rd made 3. Final 2 minutes of this game. It's Crudup at the top. Over to Tyler. Now Johnson. Johnson on the baseline, and a foul is called. Tierney Porter impeded her progress on the baseline. Her foul on Porter. And with UNCG in the bonus, Johnson will go to the foul line to shoot a pair. Brianna Council enters the game before the foul shots are attempted for excellent Greer. And Jayla Johnson on the line makes her first shot. Johnson entered the day 4 of 6 from the charity stripe. Makes her second. And we have a line change for Converse as they will substitute all 5 players on the floor, including freshman Abby Nelson. First time we've seen her this afternoon. As well as freshman Faith Sides, the younger sister of Ashley Sides, who is a senior on this Valkyries team. Carballo dribbled up the floor for the Valkyries, who are down by 32 with 90 seconds to play. Patillo Back to Carballo. Now it's Faith sides to Carballo, being watched by Crudup. Patillo kicks it out for Nelson. Less than 10 to shoot. And the pass intended for Patillo ends up out of bounds, where the UNCG band normally would be, but isn't due to pandemic restrictions. That's back to Spartan basketball. Johnson will slowly take it up the floor. Over to Crudup on the right wing. At the top for Council. Left wing to Johnson. And watched by Carballo at the top for Tyler. Tyler drives into the paint, loses the ball trying to throw it up. And it'll be a turnover for UNCG. It's Valkyrie basketball. Those Spartans less than a minute away from their second win of the year. Also had a win their last time they were on the floor here at Fleming Gym, which was against intra-city rival North Carolina A&T, an exciting game. Carballo, toss it underneath to West. And they're going to call a foul, I believe, on UNCG, or we'll say it went out of bounds with Council's foot. That's what they're saying, it went off of Council and out of bounds, so it'll stay with the Valkyries. Carballo underneath the West, had it stripped by Kane and out of bounds. And they'll inbound from the other side of the basket for the Valkyries. Carballo's inbound to Nelson. At the top for Patillo. Once more for Carballo. She's watched by Johnson with 5 to shoot. At the top for Nelson. She'll fire up a 3. It's short. And a loose ball to Crudup. Shot clock is turned off. Spartans don't need to attempt a shot here. Johnson will back it up. Spartans still running the play with Crudup. Over to Council. Council can't toss it in from underneath. Picks it back up. And her second chance opportunity doesn't fall through, but she'll go to the line to shoot 2. Spartans just trying to get a run for some players that don't usually have an opportunity to play. Council's one of them, averaging just 9 minutes per game this season. Very limited minutes in 7 games last season. This is her 7th appearance this season. A shot for Council. Bricks off the back iron. Spartans will break 70 points for the first time this season. She's able to make this free throw. She does not. 69 points still are a season high for UNCG. As Patillo has it. Over on the far side, and that'll be it. Spartans with a dominant win this afternoon against Converse College to pick up their second win of the season. And they get ready to begin SoCon play a week from today against the Western Carolina Catamounts. So a game winner for UNCG as they easily take care of the Division II opponents from Conference Carolina's the Converse Valkyries. Good day for Khalees Kane. Career high 15 points for her, along with 8 rebounds, just 2 boards short of a double-double. Well, the Spartans start off 2021 with an emphatic win over Converse College, an opportunity to get some players that have seen some time on the bench more on the court today. Talk about how some of those players performed in this win today.
Well, we're really excited about the potential for some of our players. We've had players to play a lot of minutes, but haven't seen the results. And the one that's actually a starter is Khalees Kane, who was 7 for 10, very close to a double-double. I think she has some star power, not yet because she's such a young player in the game, starting her career as in the seventh grade. But definitely she has the body type, and she's very coachable. We're looking for great things from her. Off the bench, though, Jalen Brown, the junior college player, showed some of her explosive moves. Rihanna Council is our energy player. She came off and gave us second chances with offensive rebounds and points. And then we like what we're seeing from, we call her Sway Jalen Johnson, as the backup point guard. So we need about 8 to 10 people to do well and to contribute.
One of those players that's been contributing recently is Tory Powell. Another game where she got double digits, 12 points for her today. Talk about how her play has improved over the past month.
Tory is poised. I think scoring 16 at Tennessee gave her a confidence boost. It showed us that when she plays off the ball, that she's very good on spot threes, and she becomes very dangerous. And she's a good decision maker. I really love her confidence now. She's playing some of her best basketball, and we need that going into the conference.
How have you been excited about the team's development through the first few weeks of the season? Again, the second one today, specifically on the defensive side. The defense played very well in the win against A&T, was very good today, limited to Converse to 15% shooting in the first half. Talk about what you've seen from your team defensively through the past few weeks.
Well, defensively, we have been doing a really good job in getting our defensive goals of our opponent shooting 39% or below. However, our rebounding was not very good today. Our offensive rebound. So we got to do a better job of not allowing the opponent to get second shots. But what we've been trying to work more on is our offense. We struggle offensively. We've been putting up extra shots this week. We're finding combinations. We're making sure that we keep it simple for them. And we've lost 3 starters. Aja Boyd, Jalen Hastings, Pernella, and then Jordan Relaford, who would come off the bench. We have 4 people that are injured right now. And but I do like what we're doing with our defense. If we can maintain that, we'll be doing really well.
Well, an excellent win to close out non-conference play, and SoCon play begins next week against Western Carolina. We'll look forward to it.
Thank you.
And Spartans improved to 2-7 for the year. Converse falls to 1-3. Well, that'll do it for us here from Greensboro as we play out with some of the highlights from this afternoon's win for the Spartans against the Valkyries. For our entire ESPN crew, I'm Paul Roper saying so long from Greensboro, where UNCG defeats Converse by the score of 69-37. All games airing live on the ESPN family of networks are available on demand on the Watch ESPN app. This has been a presentation of ESPN. So long, everybody.